Hey everyone, welcome to another Open Cluster Management Community meeting. We're gonna first talk about the CNCF proposal that the Open Cluster Management Community have been to establish and join the CNCF sandbox. Qzhang, would you like to share the screen with the proposal link, please? Thank you.
Oh, okay, yeah. Can you see my screen now?
Yep, thank
Uh,
you.
okay, yeah. So we drafted a doc about the whether how we are going to submit a CNCF proposal for the open cluster management. So I think I put a link on the agenda. I will put it in the chat also. Let me do that. Anyway, the thing here is that we want to submit a CNCF proposal in like 3 months, and with that time, we want to do something like clean up the current organization so that we have a separated organization. One is specifically for the CNCF project that is quite that will only include a very basic components and we want to make that very lightweight and easy to very simple, and that could help to manage multiple clusters with registration, and that can and also can help to enable the other developer to build their own managed plan extensions on that to manage the multiple cluster. So with that, we are trying to do is we will define a set of the backplane components and some related repos that is going to be separated out into a org that for CNCF. So this is a section that we want to put into the these pieces that including the API, the registration work, registration operator placement, API placement controllers, and some community-related repos and add-on frameworks that help developers to develop the add-ons based on the backplane, and also some integrations that we are still being discussion. One of them is that is going to be discussed today about open application model. And also we are thinking like having another small project to build the cluster admin, a command line that could help user to easily to bootstrap the control plane and easily to make a cluster join to the control plane. So yeah, and then and with that we are going to do like in 2 phases. In the first phase, we actually have created another repo, another org, which is Open Cluster Management -io, and we will start to put the above pieces into this org and set up the automations in this org. And with that phase, we will have 2 org, one for the community org, which is Open Cluster Management -io, and another one is a current one. It will still be more ACM related. And in the phase 2, we will try to rename the -io back to the Open Cluster Management, and we will rename also the current Open Cluster Management org to another one that is basically for the ACM. So in this way, finally, we will still propose the Open Cluster Management org to the CNCF submission. Yeah, this is the whole process we are going to do. And with that, also I list something that maybe we could, anyone will have opinion or have some comments. Please drop a comments here. Is something like how do we going to set up the automation? For instance, whether where should the image be located? We need another org in the Qui.io to host those images, or we can still use Open Cluster Management as the places to host these images. And how do we want to build the automation? So I think we probably could use, so there were some options. One is that we still use OpenShift Pro to help to set up the CI part, but I think I need to check whether it will be easily for the non-Red Hatters to accept that and to configure the OpenShift Pro. Alternatively, we could consider using other CI tools, something like GitHub Actions or Circle CI to build the CI tools. Also, I list some things about the documentation because it is there was some suggestion that we should enhance the documentation about how we position the value of the Open Cluster Management in the website, and how we have a getting start steps that easily for user to use. And there was also some comments that we kind of lack of the rich document about the APIs and some mechanism around how the internal work together. So yeah, I think this will also be put into a website repo and also all shown in the website when we split it out, separate it out to another component, another org. So yeah, I think that's pretty much all the things. So if you have any comments, please feel free to drop a comments here. And this is a public doc, so yeah, that's all.
Thank you so much, Kujang. Does anyone have any comments before we switch to main team? If not, then just want to say again, we're super excited to have main team from Ant Group to present the integral integration proposal between Open Cluster Management and Open Application Model, which helps deliver and manage apps across multiple clusters. So without further delays, main team, please take it away. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Matt. Let me share my screen first. Oh, guys, can you hear me clearly?
Yes.
Great. Screen sharing requires more permissions. For a second, let me set up my permissions properly.
I've shared the screen. If you would like, you can talk over and then while I scroll down. Thank you.
Hey.
Yep, you can see your screen.
Yeah, I just restarted my browser to acquire higher permissions so that I can do the screen sharing. Can you see my screen now?
Yep, we can see your screen now.
Great.
Oh, yep.
And
I think you
I just
just
opened the Google Doc.
I think you just stopped it. Could you share again, please? Well, I can share my screen, and then if it's the doc that you there it is.
Is it working?
Yep, we can see your screen now. Thank you.
Great. So yeah, today I'm gonna talk about the application lifecycle management with OAM and OCM. So first of all, I think I'm gonna have a brief introduction about OAM for open application models, and also the Kubivela. So the Kubivela is basically one of the implementations of OAM, which supports which is a application engine that helps you to deliver and deploy your applications into a Kubernetes clusters. So that's OAM and Kubivela we're gonna talk about today. And I also prepared a demo to show you that we developed a MVP product that that builds the integrations between Kubivelas and OCM so that we can deliver an applications from Kubivelas and leave the multi-cluster distribution or propagations to OCM so that we pull the triggers in Kubivela and let the OCMs do all the rest for us. So we do already had a application models in the current phase of OCM. I think it's yes. The current application model it's we have in OCM is actually imported from another subproject in Kubernetes 6 named application. So the as we can see in the application spec, in this application model, we are basically grouping a set of resources by using the selector. So that implies that we already have a set of resources propagated to our cluster. Then we are building we have application models over the existing resources. Or I think we can call this a bottom-up application model because the application model is basically optional. It's just a placeholder that set up a mapping between that groups the a set of resources in one clusters. But the OAM is more of a top-down application model, which means that we are defining our desired spec of manifest and desired resources in the application model, and let the application engines to do the manifest deliveries. I think that that's why we are considering using OAM in ONS groups for now, because we hope to store the desired states of resources in one place. Hello, am I connecting?
Yep, we can still hear you. We can still see your screen.
Great. That's the case we are looking for in unfinancial because I think we need to define the desired spec of any resources in one applications and pull the triggers by applying the manifest of applications, and instead of delivering the resources through an external systems and just make the application a placeholder. So that's the differences between the OAM and the application models in OCM. And as for Kubivela, let's take a look at the OAM types. So the OAM in the model of OAM, we are basically defining an applications in two orthogonal aspects. The one is components, and the other one is traits. It's easy to understand components because it's just sort of like the resource templates in the federated resources from the legacy KubeFed v2 project. So we are actually putting the desired state of resources in components. It's just like a list of arbitrary Kubernetes resources, and then we are putting more the other advanced semantics in the traits. For example, how the traffic is shifting over the components, and how we do the progressive operations over the components, and whether the components are scalable. So that's all of OAM. By the OAM types, I think it's playing around with OAM. It's like playing Legos. I think we can just define applications. We can just define the components as the basement of the Lego, and adding other optional building blocks like traffic management and canary releases as treats onto that component. And let's move on to Kubivela. So the Kubivela is a delivery engine over specifications of OAM, and Kubivela is just a concrete design, concrete implementations of OAM. As you can see in this figure, in Kubivela, some traits like scaling, rollouts, and the roots or metrics can be they are all mapped to concrete backend implementations, and we also it also provides a new concept of workload. The workload will be easier for us to define our applications because and applications requires at least one pod in terms of deploying, and so we do have a sample of applications here. So it has components which consists of a express server and traits that defines the how we do the load balancing and its domain name. So that's how an application looks like in the world of Kubivela. And easy to understand that's how Kubivela works in single one cluster. But there's a recently added add-on that that supports multi-cluster deployments in Kubivela by a new resource named application deployment. So as you can see in this model, what the application deployment does is basically adding is basically referencing an application and then defines the placement rules over binds to that application. So obviously it works like a routing rules that help us to replicate the desired resources from one applications to multiple clusters. And so what we did in the current phase to build integrations between OAM and OCM is actually adding a fields to the application deployment model. It's a new field named dispatcher. So in the original Kubivela's multi-cluster management, we are propagating the resources to multiple clusters by reading the client credentials from their customized their own cluster models. But once we set this dispatcher to open cluster management, we will replace all the execution layers or the propagators to OCM's manifest work, and the manifest work or the work agents will dynamically deliver the desired state of the resources for us. I think that's the original application deployment, and what we did to provide integrations between the two projects. And let me have a brief demo to show you how everything works together. Can you see my terminal now?
Yes, we can.
Great. Let me adjust the font size. So in this demo, we already had has the Kubivela controllers deployed to a remote server, and what we're gonna do now is to create a new KND clusters and install the OCM's registration agents and work agents to the newly provisioned KND clusters, and register the new clusters to the remote hub cluster. And then let's do it for now. Now I'm gonna create a new cluster named local debug 1. Hopefully it's not gonna take too long. So after we register the clusters to the remote hub cluster, we're gonna create an applications. We're gonna apply a new applications to the hub cluster, which where we already deployed the Kubivela system. So basically, the hub cluster or the federation clusters are reused because Kubivela also requires you to deploy the Kubivela's operators in a central cluster. Okay, the clusters. And here I also prepared a file of a list of manifests by which we can install the OCM's registration agents and work agents to the new kind of classes. I think it's we are familiar with it. Oh, first. So it's done. We can see the pod is pulling the images. Okay. Let me import the images for the new cluster. Oh, dang. Oh, I need to. That's my VPN toolings. Really? Yeah, done. Hello?
Yep, we can still see and hear.
Great. Sorry, I need to check if I'm connecting because I'm accessing over an VPN tooling.
Right.
So now the spoke agent is running. I need to approve the spoke agent on the other side. This is our an offline OCM hub cluster. As we can see here, then pending CSR. Now I'm approving this. Need to approve. I know the CSR is supposed to automatically approve by an external system, but for now we have to approve it manually. Isn't it? Okay. Yes. now the status of the managed cluster is working, is correct. So now we had a new KND clusters registered to the to our hub cluster. Then we gonna in the Google Doc we prepared a YAML of applications. Let's apply this to our hub cluster. So it's an application named my first Vela application. So now the application is working. So we can see there the status is updated. And by the way, there's another internal types of resources named application revision, which will be automatically provisioned upon every modifications over the application. So the name grows incrementally. This time we have a V1. If we made another modifications, then we will have another application revision named V2. So this time we're gonna have another manifest named application deployment, which is referencing to the application revisions. And in the placement rule, we defined a placement rule that targeting a cluster named not this name, but we will edit it anyway. So the name should be local debug one. By this application deployment, we will be replicating the application revisions to the cluster named local debug one. So let's see if it's working. Oh, great. The phase has been updated to completed. So so in OCM, we need to check out the namespaces of the clusters and check the manifest. Yes. So as you can see, after we applied the application deployments to the hub clusters, in which we defined a rule that replicates the my first Vela applications to a cluster named my local debug one. So so all the definitions in the first Vela applications will be copied to the new clusters. Everything is done by the manifest work. The manifest work is does the delivery or the executions for us. So if the manifest work is working. Great. So as a next step, we should check into the newly created cluster. Yes. So the our first Vela applications consists of let's take a look at application review. So from the application revisions, we can see that it actually consists of one component named Express Server, and the corresponding pod is delivered to our local clusters, and so that's basically how multi-cluster deployment works in Kubevela through the interface of OAM. Additionally, we can delete the application deployments so that to unbound the connections between the applications and the cluster. So the created manifest work to be deleted cascadedly and on the other hand, in the local clusters, everything should be eliminated on the other hand. That's basically how our integrations between Kubevelas and OCM works for now. It doesn't really take many codes because we are actually we just made a few minor changes to the Kubevela. Everything the desired components are applied using a new mechanism named Serverside apply, which is now a GA feature. So I think that's all of it. That's that's how we integrate OCM and OAM together and do the application deliveries by leveraging OCM.
This is super cool. Are there any questions for Mingtian?
Oh, okay. I mean, so maybe you can also introduce the current work in Kubevela to be able to better integrate with OCM.
Sure, yeah. Actually, we had a few meetings with the Kubevela guys in other places. They're actually actively updating the current the design of multi-cluster support, and that includes the discussions over a new styles of application models in Kubevela. I think it's still under question. Yes. So the OAM guys had a new proposal that's targeting to provide platform level support for extending multi-cluster engines. I just made a few comments in this proposal. I haven't read the latest response yet. So basically, in the in their latest design, in the Kubevela, we will be able to extend Kubevela by adding a few definition resources or template resources instead of hacking into the code of Kubevela. That's gonna saving much more time from us, and this will be easier for us to maintain the to keep the code clean. So if any guys are interested in the latest updates, we can continue the discussions in this thread. I think that's the latest news in the happening in the two communities. Does it answer your questions?
I think that sounds really cool. Is it possible that you could share the pool PR link to us, because we
Sure.
also think about things like integration with Argo CD. I'm not sure whether we can also learn something from the design of integration with Kubela here.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah. It seems that I'm using another name named me, but it doesn't matter for now. Oh no.
Yeah, I got it.
Thank you so much, Min. Are there any other questions for Min?
No, I think this looks really good. I think it demonstrates the power and flexibility of open cluster management. And I think it's exciting to see another way of adopting that technology to leverage the open application model, bringing two parts of the community together. So very excited to see this, happy to see whatever we can do as a community to help support it.
Thank you. I think the Kubevela or OAM guys, they're very interested in enhancing the multi-cluster cases. I think they are probably joining the community meetings in the future. I think but anyway, they're really interested in this field. Anyway.
That's excellent to hear.
Are there any more comments and questions for Min Kim, as well as talking about the OAM in general? Min Kim, do you have any additional comment? Sorry, I cut you off.
No, I think we can move on to the next chapter.
Thank you so much, Min Kim. Are there any other discussion, Kuchang, you would like to talk about regarding the CNCF now that Min Kim is here? Or you want to wrap it up for today?
For me, I think that's so actually, if there are any comments on the questions on that doc about that proposal, please drop the comments and we will start with that.
Okay, thank you so much, Kuchang. With that, that's basically it for today's meeting. Thank you everyone for attending again. See you all in 2 weeks. Thank you. Take care.
Bye-bye.